Hi everyone, my name is Anna Sampson. Today I'll be presenting my technology integration plan for an 8th grade visual arts classroom. Rather than focusing on technology simply for the sake of just using the technology, my plan will center around how assistive technology can make art education accessible for all students regardless of ability. I'm going to explain the classroom context, the technologies I selected, the instructional framework that guided my decisions, an integration plan, and ethical considerations involved with implementing each tool I chose. For classroom context, I chose my classroom to be in a rural public in a rural area, and it's going to be a public middle school. The class is going to be 8th grade visual arts, and there will be 23 students, 5 of which will have disabilities. The students will go to art each day for 50 minutes, and the students will have limited Chromebook access. The school will have a set of Chromebooks for each general education classroom, but for the connections teachers, which an art educator is a connections teacher in the middle school setting, the teachers will be able to check out Chromebooks from the library on a needs based basis. So the classroom will likely have 3 to 4 Chromebooks for the whole class to be able to share. The school district also has a zero tolerance policy for cell phones. The class includes students with visual impairments, orthopedic impairments, ADHD, and general education students. Because of the diverse needs of the students, the goal is to provide assistive technologies that allow every student to participate fully in creating the artwork rather than creating separate art making experiences for each student. I want each student to be able to work alongside each other and complete the same projects with the assistance of assistive technology. A few challenges to student success would be students with visual impairments might struggle to see the demonstrations or instructional materials that I will be using. Students with orthopedic impairments might have difficulty manipulating and just using the traditional art tools that are usually held by the hand. If students have trouble with mobility, they will be able to use assistive art making tools. Students with ADHD often face challenges maintaining focus and organization throughout longer art projects, especially. And because the art classroom has limited technology access, providing assistive technologies definitely require a lot of planning and resource management. Because of these barriers, I thought of a few assistive technology solutions that can help every student in the class, regardless of ability, succeed. Students with visual impairments will be able to use Chromebook accessibility features, such as magnification and text to speech. Students will also be given magnifying glasses that they can, or magnifying glasses that they can use with any tangible materials that they're given. They'll also be given high contrast materials and Mr. Sketch scented markers to help them differentiate which colors that they're using. And they'll also be given tactile drawing tools. That way they can tell which tool is for what. Students with orthopedic impairments will be able to use adaptive brushes and pencils. These adaptive brushes and pencils will be different than the way we, or the different from the way the general education students will be using them. So some will be able to be held in the mouth so students can move their head to be able to draw and paint. They'll also be given spring loaded scissors for students that have problems gripping. For students with wheelchairs, there will be adjustable tables that are wheelchair friendly. And then for students that have issues with their lower part of the body, they will be using adaptive pottery wheels. And in the case where there's very, very limited limb um, mobility, students will be able to use AI image generation. But of course, this is only when it is appropriate. Students with ADHD will be able to use the Chromebooks for digital reminders, and they'll also be given visual schedules. And then the teachers will also monitor all of the Chromebook use. I chose the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, because it encourages teachers to proactively design instruction that removes barriers before students encounter them. Instead of modifying lessons after difficulties arise, UDL builds flexibility from the beginning that allows teachers to modify the lessons as they're being taught. So, my technology choices reflect all three UDL principles, which are multiple means of representation, multiple means of engagement, multiple means of action and expression, because they give students multiple ways to access information and to remain engaged and to demonstrate what they learned through art making. Here are a few standards that support my plan. So, my technology plan aligns with several important educational standards, with ISTE Educator Standard 5 that encourages students to design authentic learning experiences that meet diverse learning needs. Section 508 of the Rehabilitation Act ensures students with disabilities have equal access to technology, while the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG, recommends providing accessible alternatives such as large print, audio, and high contrast materials to visually impaired students. Altogether, these standards will support creating an equitable learning environment for my students. Of course, with integrating technology in the classroom, there needs to be a set of ethics that can be followed by both the students and the educators. The technology should always and only be implemented responsibly. So in my classroom, only district approved programs would be used, and students would never need personal accounts. Student privacy will remain protected through school managed accounts, and parental permission for sharing artwork would be needed. AI would only be used as an accessibility tool to support students' creativity and not to replace the original artistic thinking and art making. Students will also learn responsible digital citizenship, which will include privacy, respectful communication, and of course, academic honesty. In order to put this plan in place, I've created a timeline on how we can make that possible. So before school begins, I will be preparing the adaptive art materials and organizing it. Also reviewing Chromebook accessibility settings and getting really used to them and getting very familiar with how they work and completing all teacher trainings. On the first week of school, I'll be introducing my classroom um, the technology by sharing with them the expectations for all of technology, what they are expected to do with them and what they are not expected to do with them. I'll be introducing digital citizenship and sharing with them the ethics and demonstrating assistive. I would be demonstrating the assistive technology tools and just show each student how each tool is worked and what their purpose is and when and how they should use them. During the second and third weeks of school, students will begin using the assistive technologies themselves during the drawing and painting projects I will introduce. I will be monitoring the effectiveness of each assistive technology and thinking of ways that they are working and thinking of ways that they are not working. In the coming weeks, I'm going to continue to integrate the assistive technologies in more complex ways and more complex projects. I'm going to be collecting student feedback and adjusting support as needed. And I'm really going to be listening to the students and seeing ways that the technology works really well for them and other ways that it is not working well for them. Until the end of the year and just continuing on, I'm going to continue observing student process. And I'm also going to collaborate with the special education teachers and modify accommodations based on IEP goals and student needs. IEPs, I will be definitely doing regular meetings on based on the IEP requirements and just modifying any accommodation based on student changes. So hopefully the impact will be really great and there will be greater accessibility for all students. And then because of this, because students will be able to all fully participate in art projects, there will be increased student performance and higher student participation. And including all students and making it possible for all students to succeed, it will be an inclusive classroom environment and it will be an equitable classroom with equal opportunities for artistic expression. Thank you so much for listening to my technology integration plan, and happy teaching.